Hello, I'm going to have a look at the Imori wakizashi from John Lee. My English is rather underused at the moment, so I hope it's all understandable. Also, for those wondering, do we see through the mask? No. The Imori is a 1045 carbon steel wakizashi from John Lee. It costs around 100 to 150 euros, depending on the reseller. I bought mine at Outfit for Events for 114 euros. It came with a simple sword bag and a box. These are quite common for long palm blades. The sword weighs 830 grams. Imori means newt and refers to a Japanese fire-belly newt, which is depicted on the fittings. The handle is 24 centimeters, which is longer than most wakizashi handles. I bought mine because I wanted something closer to a kokotana, which is rather hard to come across in European sword market. A kokotana is a katana with a shorter blade, usually around 60 to 63 centimeters. This is just a wakizashi with a long handle, but it's still close enough. It's supposed to have a real race skin, and that seems to be the case. One side seems to be of better quality, which is normal on most katanas I handled. The wrap is in katatamaki style, which is usually called battle wrap. The wrap is not too tight around the manuki, but a bit better further down. I've swung it around for some weeks and it has held up. However, I suspect it might be a problem if you're a practitioner and regularly use this. Overall, it's a comfortable handle with a decent look, but the wrapping is a bit loose. The fittings are simple, which is nice. Elaborate fittings is usually a bad sign for me on cheaper sword, since it means less money was likely spent on the blade. The tsuka guard is a simple metal circle that has been blackened with 4 Imori pieces in gold color swinging around. It's nothing fancy, but it's tasteful in my opinion. The Imori fitting is lightly glued and seems to be fastened pretty well. I've not been able to move them. The kashira is a simple black with same Imori fitting. It has not come loose and seems to be glued on, which is nice. It's far too common for the kashira to come loose quickly, which always sucks. The blade is a simple 1045 carbon steel blade. It's with a bowie, and the hammer, which is the wavy lines on the cutting edge, is not real but it's etched on, which is quite common for cheaper blades. It's relatively thick and it stretches to 51 centimeters. It seems robust enough, and I have not had any problems or deformations when I missed a cut and hit the cutting stand. However, it's still a rather cheap 1045 blade, so I wouldn't use it for anything other than light cutting, which usually refers to water bottles, single tatami mats, pool noodles, etc. The sword is decently sharp, but could have been better. Works well enough to cut light targets in my opinion. But you need to be using a bit sass to get through them. The saya or scabbard is black lacquered and has ishime finish, which is called. It's the droplets, for lack of a better word, on the scabbard. It makes it so that fingerprints does not show up that easily and looks rather good in my opinion. It seems robust enough and has no cracks. The fit is not horrible, but not good either. The blade does have a rattle. It's not the worst. I've seen far worse. So, I brought this because I wished for something kokotanish, but also because I was curious about the brand John Lee. I have heard little in the sword forums about them, and what little there is seems to be lukewarm at best. I guess since it's based in Europe, it slips a bit through the cracks. They seem to focus mostly on cheapo katanas, like this. Most people I've seen recommend something like Musashi or Musa instead. However, shipping them to my country is really expensive. A sword that costs around 100 to 200 euros usually becomes 300 to 400 euros with shipping costs, which is really not worth it. At that point, might as well buy something more fancy like a Hanwei. So I gave Johnny a shot, and I think this one delivered. It's a nice little sword, it cuts rather well, and it's fun to move around. It's not the best balanced, and it could be a bit front heavy, and the Ito wrapping is a bit loose. These faults are, in my opinion, okay for a sword that costs 100 euros, and I am satisfied. And I think that's about it. I'm hopefully going to cover more expensive blade from John Lee, just to see if the quality holds up a bit higher up. They look a bit more dodgy, so we'll see. So anyways, thanks for watching. I hope it has been informative.